you could not turn on that backlight or else like something bad was gonna
Shit was
happen.
going
Like
down if that light came on.
either my parents were going to jail or the car would explode. Like I literally believed that to be true.
Welcome to the Allegedly podcast with your talented host, Katie and Dakota.
Last week we were beautiful. Today we're talented. I love this for us.
Don't you?
I love that. That is so great.
I know. I love it as well. I mean, I'm just speaking the truth. But today, the episode that we have prepared is a nice little memory lane, good old days, talking about being little 90s babies.
I love that.
I
Honestly, I
know.
feel like being a 90s baby is just the best.
It's
We
a
have so many
privilege to be a 90s
it's
baby.
it's just a nice spot to be in, I feel like.
I always used to think too, where like whenever we're really old and people are like, or I'm like, I was born in 1992, and people are like, oh shit, you were born in 19s? Like that's so rare, you know? Like that's gonna
Yeah.
feel really nice.
Yeah.
Just as like a little warm up to memory lane, I just have a couple of questions for you to kind of get in the mode, get your head right, see where you're at your childhood. Are
Okay.
you ready?
I'm totally ready.
So Nickelodeon or Disney Channel?
Disney Channel.
Interesting. I mean, Disney Channel had its moment. I think I was more of a Nickelodeon boy when I was really young. I liked Disney Channel once I kind of got more mature, which is kind of weird to say because I'm not sure if
Okay.
that's like right. But when I was super young, I was like more into Nickelodeon. We were doing Rugrats, we were doing Rocket Power, we were doing like all of those shows.
So, okay, but like I was doing both. Like I hear you, I see you. I was also into Rocket Power and Wild Thornberries.
Mm-hmm.
That whole situation, I was in there like swimwear. Like I am with you. But I just feel like Disney was just my shit, you know? Like we had like when I was little, we had like PB&J Otter, we had Out of the Box, we
See,
had
I'm not that none of those really hit me, you know? When I was
Oh,
really
wow.
young, like whenever I was like real young, I feel like Nickelodeon really provided.
Okay.
Like
Well,
whenever we would go on trips, when we would go on trips, and we were like, how much longer are we in the car? My mom would give us in units of Rugrat episodes.
oh, wow. Okay.
That was our
She's like, so
understanding of time.
you're gonna watch 3 more Rugrats
Well, we didn't
episodes.
watch it, but it was just like, okay, like if I had watched 3 episodes, like that's about this long. Okay, like we're almost there, I guess.
Got it. Okay,
Um,
gotcha.
it really that one is like kind of the battle of all time because like it's hard to say.
Yeah,
There's so many good like TV and movies coming from both during the 90s. Like
totally.
really good.
They were pumping out content.
Mm-hmm. Okay, moving on. Backstreet Boys are NSYNC.
In sync. So 100% in sync, but like I still mess with the Backstreet Boys as well. Like, but Lance Bass was my first crush. We all know how that turned out. But like I had loved a Lance Bass moment. It's actually funny because very recently I have been listening to their No Strings Attached album, which I know is from
Mm-hmm.
like the 2000s. But even today, like I was listening to Bring in the Noise, Bring Down the House. Like
It's
I
good,
was
right?
like, yeah. And then it's like on Fridays, I will still play. Thank God it's Friday night and I just got paid. Like
Mm-hmm.
NSYNC is supreme, and I wish that they would reunite, but Justin Timberlake is a diva.
I forgot about that.
So,
It's
yeah,
a shame.
unfortunate.
It's a shame to ruin the whole package for that.
100%. But I do enjoy the Backstreet Boys as well.
Mm-hmm. We see them, but I think I'm aligned on that. Okay, that was a great little warm up. I think something that as I was like trying to pull back like from my childhood and how things were then and how things are now, I think
Yeah.
something that's changed dramatically or that's really odd in the way that like we approach it now is like that process of going to like a Blockbuster and selecting a movie and now the way that we do that on Netflix or like a streaming service, and I don't know if like I would have watched certain things or been exposed. Like imagine like showing someone what your like your Netflix history, or like is that like a stranger your Netflix history? Like isn't that, wouldn't that be kind of weird?
Yeah.
Not like that there's
Yeah.
like majorly controversial things on Netflix, but I don't know. Do you like, did you guys go to a
Yeah, but
movie
I think
gallery or Blockbuster? Because like that was like our thing.
totally. Yeah, no, I think like we got to maybe like rent like a movie a week or something like that. I can't remember
Mm-hmm.
the full scenario. And then whenever they would have their like sidewalk sales, we would go buy DVDs. Like, yeah, but I also think that I don't think they necessarily were, but I was young, so I don't know. I don't think they were selling weird shit. You know what I
They definitely
mean?
weren't, but I just think it's just like I for some reason find like your movie selection or like your TV preference.
Personal.
It is kind of like become this like personal thing now. It wasn't before, but now it does feel like a like, oh, like this is kind of like their who they are, you know? It like says a lot about a person.
It's just like a little doorway, a little sneak preview.
It
But
kind of
the thing
is.
is, I'm kind of outdated in the sense that I love buying DVDs and I love
Mm,
buying CDs. So like I'm still exposing myself because I
I
just love a
respect
good
that.
I love a good physical copy.
Mm.
I don't know
See,
why.
I like
I'm just
buying
weird.
music as a download rather than like streaming. Like I like to like purchase the song in support of the
Yeah.
artist, but I don't like physical things, like physical media. I'm not
Oh,
into.
yeah, no, I'm a big CD gal.
Love that. Okay,
Yeah.
here what we have next is going to be categories of your childhood that we need to discuss.
Okay.
First one being pets. Did you have any like weird pets growing up, or was that just me?
So I mean like no, like I had a fish. Like I definitely
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of fish. My parents weren't like huge like let's have pets kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
So I never was the kid who had like the hamster, the guinea pig, or like the
Mm-hmm. See, we.
bunny. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was never that person. I always wanted to be that person, but I just wasn't. I never reached that caliber. We had a cat when I was little, and the only reason that we got her was because she showed up on our doorstep. She was like a stray, and
And you
then
just took her
and
in
she
and
and she just like wouldn't leave, so we just kept her.
by natural
So
force.
yeah, so we had her name was Coco, and then our we had a dog when I was in middle school, and her name was Heidi. And well, I guess and high school, middle school and high school. But Heidi was my grandpa's dog, and then he passed away, so we took her. So like my family never had like a
Like any,
family.
right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that was like we never had like a pet that like I like we went and purchased and it was like this is mine. So like when I got Elliot, it was kind of a big deal because it was like I mean, it was he's not my
He was
first
like your
pet, you know what I
first.
mean? But he
Yeah,
was
no, I
like
feel
the
that.
first like little baby animal I've ever had.
I love that for you. See, I think maybe my family definitely wasn't one of those families that had weird pets, but like I think I pried really hard because like I went
Yeah.
from goldfish to hamster. The hamster had babies, and so we had to give those away. I know that
Oh,
was a
that's like
whole problem. Yeah.
but to be like when I think about those kind of pets, I'm like my kid is not having those because I am not shoveling hamster shit. Like
Same.
absolutely
So I
not.
had one, and I would
No.
never be down with that at this point.
Yeah, no,
Then
we're
my
not.
mom got us a dog for the first time, or like my parents got us a dog for the first time. And my parents were savages. They were like, "You guys are gonna take care of it," and we didn't take care of it, and they gave it to a friend that like took it. So like they were like, we're taking this dog away from you guys. You didn't take care of it. We are people of our word. Y'all aren't gonna have a dog anymore. So Max was then gone. He was there, and then Max was all of a sudden out of our lives completely.
Max was gone with the wind. Wow, that's
It was
intense.
really sad. Yeah, it was like a
Wow.
really. And then I made a huge mistake of wanting a bird for my birthday one year. Yes,
I
I don't know
fucking
why.
hate birds. I hate
Yes.
birds.
I like right now at this mental state, I don't know where I was. I wanted a bird or a chameleon, and I remember just like juggling the
No.
two. Got a bird. Worst decision of my life. It was in my room, so at night it was flying around its cage. Always a mess to clean up in the morning. Smelled like
Yeah,
bird in my room. Big
that's
mistake.
gross.
The
That's
goal was to
disgusting.
have something to talk, like a little pet that could talk and I could teach it things. Like that was
Got
the
it.
goal. That was the vibe. Didn't go well. So pumpkin was
Wow.
given to someone who was really fond of birds because didn't want that.
Right.
And then just to top it all off, I wanted a dog again for my birthday. My mom literally got me like this metal dog, like statue thing. And then the next year for her birthday, she got her own dog. And I was just
Oh.
like, okay, this is great. This is where we're at now. And then we're
Dang.
over the whole pet situation, but yeah,
Gotcha.
kind of a
See,
weird
like
thing.
I am committed to getting myself a golden retriever before my birthday next year. So,
Love that.
so I'm about to like really lock in a dog. She's got to be a girl because I'm going to name her Luna. I'm like very committed to this.
Is
Um,
this like a Chrissy Teigen thing?
No, actually, it's not. But I do love little Luna too, and
Mm-hmm.
we respect Chrissy Teigen. No, I just love
Chrissy's
that
definitely
name
there. Mm-hmm.
because you can call the dog like Lulu. I don't know. I just feel like there's like a lot of names, and I just
Love
resonate with the
that.
moon. I resonate with the moon, so like
She's a moon girl.
la, la Luna.
Well, I'm happy that you're trying to be a mom of two.
Totally. Yeah. Single mother of two. It's a big commitment, but I'll be getting a house soon. So I'll be
Mm.
I'll be good.
I saw that. Love that. Okay, so did you guys ever, as kids, do any sort of like pranks or like kind of go screw at other people's houses and stuff? Did you guys ever do that? Like a little ding dong ditch, a little like rolling someone's house? Because that was hot for a moment with us.
Totally. I totally think we ding dong ditched people. Um
That was like a thrill, you know?
yeah, like I never did like a TPing or anything like that. Like nothing destructive, just a little ring of
Mm-hmm.
the doorbell, like definitely did some ding dong ditching. Um and then we did, and this is, I mean, ding dong ditching still, but like for Halloween time, like booing people.
What's that?
So you would, so they, it's like this, you put together like a gift basket of like Halloween themed stuff and like candy and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's like this paper like picture of a ghost basically, that like once someone like ding dong ditches you with this person, you've been booed. So
Oh.
you put the ghost on your window, so that people know you've already been booed, and then
Mm.
you basically have to boo someone next.
We got that with the flamingo once. I wasn't really understanding it, you know, but I saw where they
Interesting.
were. Yeah. One thing that we used to do is, and I've seen this recently pop back up with Tiger King and Carol Baskin. But did you see that video where they tricked Carol Baskin into thinking they were on Jimmy Fallon?
No.
Okay, well, quick update. These guys got Carol Baskin to do an interview with them, but she thought she was on Jimmy Fallon and she got tricked. And they
And
had
she wasn't.
Yeah, she wasn't.
Oh,
She was on like a Zoom call with them, but they were like, "You're not gonna be able to see Jimmy, but he's gonna be there. You're just gonna have a quick interview, bada boom, bada bam." So she didn't want to do
yeah.
any interviews, but she thought she was gonna do Jimmy Fallon. So they took audio from recent recordings where they're like, "Oh my gosh, what have you been doing during lockup?" Like, and like old ones where animals were on there, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, that's a huge cat" or something like that. And so what we used to do is there was these websites where it would take like Dr. Phil's voice and we had buttons and we would call Walmart and we would just like press these buttons and it would sound like Dr. Phil, and it was just previously audio recordings, and we would try to have a conversation with someone at like the hardware department or something like that, like with only the limited amount of buttons we had.
What?
Yes, isn't
So
that
I
crazy?
kind of when you said that, I kind of remembered there being like a website or something where there was voices maybe.
Mm-hmm.
um but and we maybe like tried to prank call people with that. I don't know though.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just weird. I remember we had a string of that, and it was just kind of like the
That's
thing to do.
interesting. Wow.
Speaking of phone calls and prank calls, when did you get your first phone?
I got my first phone in
Because wasn't that
sixth
like a
grade.
moment? Wasn't that like,
Yeah. I got my first phone in sixth grade. It was a flip phone with Singular. Um, yeah. I had like T9 texting and
uh-huh, wasn't
yeah. And I always just wanted to like live the life of having like a chocolate or a razor. I got a
mm-hmm.
razor. Uh my friend had a pink razor that like she didn't need anymore because her parents bought her a chocolate. So
I don't
she
even know what a
gave
chocolate is.
it's like it was like a slide up like phone.
Mm.
I don't really know. But her parents got her a chocolate, so my friend gave me her razor cuz my
Really?
parents wouldn't buy me one.
Love that. Yeah, I definitely didn't get a razor. I can't remember
Mm-mm.
when I got my first phone. I think I was definitely like in sixth or seventh grade.
Yeah,
I'm
I
trying
was
to
in
think kind
6th
of like what
grade.
was happening, but yeah, I
I
don't
was in
know.
6th grade, but my sister got one at the same time. Super scandalous. She was in
That's
4th grade.
controversial. I know.
Yeah,
It's
I
weird
was
now.
pissed.
I think us like being at the age where it was like a debatable time to get a phone or not, when phones were becoming a thing, is now going to
Yeah.
be an interesting like decision for us to like pass down to our children, you
Well,
know?
that's what I was gonna
Isn't that
just
weird?
ask. I was just gonna ask you, like, if you do have children someday, like, what age would you let them have a phone?
See,
Knowing what we know now about phones.
I think so. Like, I'm thinking of my cousins right now, and they're like just breaking double digits, or like they average, and they both
Yeah.
have phones. And I think for me, I wouldn't want them exposed to any like social media as it stands right
Yeah.
now until like 14, maybe even
Oh
later.
wait, they're gonna get bullied if at 14 they don't have a phone.
I
You're
really don't.
about to
Well,
drive
I think a phone should exist. Like, I like the phone thing. I don't really know, and I also have a hard time like knowing what grade and age is.
like
That maybe that is late.
maybe you just get them a burner phone.
Definitely
Just
a
like a
burner because
little brick.
I do see the like the pros of like tracking somebody or being able to like get a hold of someone when they
Totally.
need it. That's definitely something that I would
Yeah.
be interested in if they're like went to someone's house or something like that.
Yeah. I still feel like, I don't know. I mean, now maybe 6th grade is
Maybe
late. I
13
don't
sounds
know.
good. I like the sound of 13 because it's like, okay,
Like
you're a
a
teenager
teen.
now. Like, you've entered the teenage years. Here's your phone.
Like you're allowed to have a phone. Yeah, I don't
Or at least,
know. Like,
or at least get
because I,
like apps that you want. Maybe. I don't know.
yeah, I guess, but you can also nowadays, like, you can put like the parent lock on the phones, I think, too, so that they can't download certain apps
Mm-hmm.
unless a password is entered. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe they can get a phone earlier so that they can contact you. Because people don't really have like home phones anymore. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like
100%.
if they're over playing at a friend's or something, they can't
They'd
call
have
you
to
from a
borrow.
home
Yeah,
phone.
I feel
They'd
that.
have to
I think,
they'd have to borrow their privileged friend's phone.
yeah, I think I have to separate like what comes with smartphones now and then like the burner phone, like when can they get a smartphone and when can they have their beeper, you know?
Totally. Totally. My child is getting a walkie-talkie first. Like I
Yeah.
don't care.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Um, so the other thing that I was thinking about is like I feel like the food situation we were growing up is definitely different, weird. Like the
Okay.
snacks that I used to have and the school lunches that we used to have. Like, were you a school lunch girl or were you a bring your own lunch girl?
I was both.
Were you?
Yeah, like my mom would make my lunch, but then I feel like there were like days where like I got to treat myself to the hot lunch at
Really?
school, which was like disgusting, I'm sure, like looking back.
It was definitely
But like
disgusting. Did you guys have square pizza?
I don't remember. Like I have such a bad memory. I wish I did remember. I'm sure I had square pizza, but like it was definitely not probably fresh.
Definitely, like you don't remember at all. That's crazy. I don't know. I feel like that whole like time period where I had to open my milk carton from a cardboard thing and get in line for all
Oh,
that
well,
nonsense.
yeah, I remember that. And then I remember when you would get the carton that was just like in the freezer for too long, so there was ice chunks in it. Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
Like,
I also just you find the art of trading first at the school lunch table too.
that's, yeah, I don't know. I don't really remember ever like trading lunch with people. I'm sure I did it,
Oh, that was such
but
a thing for me.
I just like don't really remember doing that. But I mean, I'm sure it happened. That's crazy though, like thinking about, yeah, like school lunches.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. I just yeah, I mean, I feel like more often than not, I think my mom packed me a lunch.
That's very nice. I think now, like if I was a parent, I'd want to pack my kids lunch just because I'm such a food nut now. But like
Totally.
back then, I lived for
Yeah.
those school lunches. Like I didn't want my mom's
Yeah.
lunch. Like I wanted that, like I wanted like a Crispito or nacho or a corn dog. They would put corn dogs and nachos together, and that was the most lit day ever.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, we love that. Chicken nugget day with mashed potatoes. Game over. Um, what about your first job?
Okay, so my first job was a seasonal job at PacSun. Um,
Ooh,
so here's the thing, like it was so seasonal. I like barely worked, and I don't know if this means I like sucked at my job and they just like didn't want to
it
schedule
was.
me. But like I think that my biggest paycheck was like $50.
Oh yeah, you
Like,
definitely did not work.
yeah, I like barely, literally like shifts would be like 2 or 3 hours, like they were nothing, and I was getting paid like $7 or whatever minimum wage was. So like, yeah, that was a terrible job. And so I think I worked at PacSun for only like a couple months. I don't remember. I didn't really like the people there either, didn't vibe with them. So
Mm,
then like whenever my seasonal role was over, I just like called them and I was like, I don't want to like continue on,
mm-hmm.
basically. And then, but what I would consider, like, I mean, that was my first technical job, I guess, but my first like job that was longer than, and that I was paid more than $50 was at a Mexican restaurant bussing tables.
Love that. I did that for a whole 2 weeks and then quit when I was bussing tables.
Oh yeah. Well, I got upgraded to a host, even though I like ended up making less money. I was happy to be able to look cute and just like
I would love
walk
that.
walk people to their table.
Yeah, busing tables was not my thing. I was already working another job, and then they try to like do give me doubles or like more hours than I can handle. And I literally told them I was like, "Yo, like I can't work this much. It doesn't. It like physically isn't possible." And they're like, "Oh no, you're fine." And so then I just told her like, "No, I'm done. Like if you can't if you can't
Yeah.
like if you can't honor like my schedule, then I'm just walking out." I felt like such a bad bitch whenever I was just like responded like, "No, like it's not fine. I'm leaving." And they were just
You
like,
know
"Oh
what?
shit,
That's so
he's
funny.
really out
Yeah,
of here."
what I was just thinking about like when I would bus tables. So like I switched over to being a host, but like I would still bus tables every once in a while. Like if I
A
just
good
wanted some,
host.
yeah, just like, or no, I would like pick up shifts busing if I wanted to.
Hmm.
Um, but I started dating a guy at the restaurant and he was a server. And so like sometimes I would bus tables for him, which is just so scandalous. He would tip me so much money because he was my boyfriend.
That sugar daddy though.
So, literally, like that's kind of scandalous for like being 16 or 17 years old, whatever. And like I was just getting extra cash on the side for this girl guy from this guy that I was dating. Like what?
Love that. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy. My first job, I was a kids fitness instructor, which
Okay.
is on brand up until today.
Love that for you. Yeah.
And then after that, I was like a kids party host at this place. Like I would have to like they would host parties at this like it was like a Chuck E. Cheese without the cheese. Like there
Okay.
was no pizza involved. It was just like a big gymnasium type vibe. And
Safari
kids,
Sam's.
we don't, I mean, it was just in my small town. Like it was like
Oh,
a
gotcha.
standalone, like small
It was
town
just a
vibe.
little hole in the wall.
Just a little hole in the wall. She's a nice little play by
That's
play
so
was a
funny.
nice little dime in Hot
That's so
Springs.
funny. Love
But
that.
yeah, that was all my jobs were like kid related jobs up until my professional job.
Wow.
Like
That's
she had no
crazy.
internship, and then little did I know I was going to continue to work with people who acted like children.
Absolutely. We love to see it.
Okay, so did you ever think, like, I feel like the candy of that generation was really weird. Like, I feel like the candy that kids have now, like when we were little, the candy was like very odd. It was like fake cigarettes, like baby bottle pops in the shape
I
of
was just thinking baby bottle pops.
like we had that stick that you dipped in powder and licked it off
A
of.
dipstick. Yeah, actually, we had some really inappropriate candies.
That's the thing is like now that I'm gone back in time, like I feel like everything that we had was extremely inappropriate as far as like I don't
Wow.
know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that's so true. Oh my
Because they don't have any
goodness.
candies nowadays that weren't like the heavy hitters from back in the day. Like they don't have anything that's just like,
Right.
like a ring
Wow.
pop, which is like, oh, it makes everyone want to eventually get engaged or a ring. Like everything had this like
Yeah.
weird pseudo meaning to it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's so true. That's
We're woke
crazy.
now. I know.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Do you have
So
anything
no, go ahead.
do you have anything that you can think of that like when you were little you believed to be true and then now you're older and you're like, wait, like what?
I think I did. I don't remember if we've talked about this on the pod or off the pod, but I
We
remember there
haven't
was
talked about it on the pod.
for you. Yeah, let me hear your story because I kind of vaguely remember this from you.
Okay, so for me, the thing that I like completely believed to be true until like I got older was that like you could not turn on the overhead light in the back seat or else like your parents were gonna get pulled over.
I
Like
kind of felt like
I
I remember a
completely
similar energy with that, or like we
I
were gonna
can
die. Like they couldn't see the road if I turned that on.
yeah, like literally like you could not turn on that back light or else like something bad was gonna
Shit was
happen.
going
Like
down if that light came on.
either my parents were going to jail or the car would explode. Like I literally believed that to be true.
That's so funny because that is weird. I can't think of anything that's as similar to that, but I did for the longest time, maybe until social media, but I never could legibly see the D in Disney.
What?
Do you know what I mean? Like
No.
you know how whenever it would spell Disney and it would do the
Yeah.
cursive, but like I maybe even still to this day like couldn't see it in that image for some reason. Like I was just like,
How?
what's going on with Isney? Like why why does it look like
What?
Isney? Yeah, I don't know. I might need to pull it up, but for some reason I thought they spelt it so weird.
It
Or
looks
like
like Disney.
the font was weird. No, there must be a different one, or maybe I'm just crazy. I mean, I can see it now, but for some reason, I would always digest it as like a backwards G.
What?
Do you see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we're just not aligned.
I was
No.
just like, it's because they wouldn't make that cross, that downward slash first. I think they would go around in the big hoop edge, and I was just like, oh wow, like that's not how I draw a D. And my name's Dakota, and I would know.
And Dakota would never.
Yeah, it just looks like a backwards G Isney to me.
That's funny.
So like whenever you were a kid, because I kind of like I didn't hang out with a lot of girls growing up, like in my younger years, but because I have like no idea what you guys did with your time. Like for
So you
me,
just were
did
not a
lots
girl's
of
girl.
well, no, I'm not. Even when I worked with like kids, I didn't know what the girls would do. Like I was big into like video games, but I also played outside a lot, like build forts, like weird sports games, you know what I mean? Like we were always doing something, but I never understood like what my friends' sisters were doing, like you know what I mean? I could never like what's going on here? Like what are we
Okay,
working on?
so
What
So we had Barbies, we had Bratz dolls, we had Polly Pockets. We would play with all those. But then we would also like make forts. We would,
Did you make forts?
hell yeah, with
I love
blankets.
that.
So much fun to sleep in. I like, you know what, actually, in my last apartment, I tried to make one. I didn't have enough blankets.
I love that for you.
Yeah, I just like wanted to like make a fort that connected from my couch to my TV, and it didn't
Love
end up
that.
working out. But once I get my house, I feel like I need to invest in some blankets so that I can just have like a fort weekend,
I
because
think
like
that would be nice.
I got to bring it back.
Wait, you
No,
know what
but
would be
we
really funny is like a fort party. You know, like having a themed party, but having a party that is like you have a bunch of forts
oh
made and you
shit.
go drinking and like there's like a beer pong fort and there's like
Wow, that would be so much fun. Wow, we got
and
to do
people can
that.
wear I don't know whatever they would wear, but
I'm here for that. Pajamas.
mm-hmm.
So we did that. We did a lot of dance routines, like lots of
Oh, okay, I
choreographing,
can see that. Choreographing and
lots,
videoing, I've seen that a lot. Okay.
lots of choreographing dances, lots of making videos on the video camera.
We owe
Um,
TikTok to you then, you know.
she was a pioneer. Lots of like playing house. Um,
See, yeah, I didn't get in
and
any of that. I did remember
um,
playing like superheroes a lot, you know? Like I would always
yeah,
be the
like
one that could fly. I don't know
I
why.
definitely didn't ever play superheroes. Like when we would come visit, because I lived in Oregon at the time, when we would come visit my grandpa here in Arizona, we would like in the pool, we would like play mermaids.
Mm,
Um, I loved like
pool games were good.
sprinklers, like running around in
Mm-hmm.
sprinklers. That was a good time. But yeah, I feel like, I mean, makeup, like cheap ass makeup. One
Mm-hmm.
time we did my like boy cousin's makeup and we got in a lot of trouble.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, got in a lot of trouble. Yeah, that's what we were out there doing, like talking about boys we had crushes on, all that. I
Yeah.
don't know. Writing in our
Interesting.
diaries.
I think I had a diary for a moment, but there wasn't any tea spilled in there. I didn't have anything going on, you know?
So I had a crush diary actually that
Ooh,
like
like a little black book.
no, but it was like set up to be your crush diary, and like each page was like where you would write about your new crush, and it would literally have like name, description, like all this stuff. It was set up to write about all your crushes, and I'm like, damn, they want me to fill up a full book when I'm 12 on all my
Mm-hmm.
crushes, like holy shit. But my sister would always make fun of me because, and I'll never forget this order. I had like she must have broken into my diary, and the order of all the boys was Nick, Kyle, Kyle, Nick. So there was two boys and there were four separate occasions that I had crushes on them, and I made new pages for each one.
Ooh, love that.
Yeah, so definitely had the
Do you
crush
remember that like
diary.
house game, I think, where you like you wrote like 1 through 5 and you wrote like your crush's names.
Mash.
Yeah.
Mash.
Mash. Remember Mash? And then the
Oh,
little thing where you'd go with your fingers and
cootie
it was like
catcher. Cootie
Isn't
catcher. Yes,
it
of
funny how we
course.
did some like those little things?
Totally. And then I just remember like in 6th grade being so excited to hug a boy in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was a big deal.
Yeah, it's
Some
funny.
crazy.
Just like the culture, like imagine like knowing what you know now and then getting exposed, like going back in time and being exposed to like teenage year culture, you know?
Oh my God. Yeah, I would you
It
know
would
what?
just
I
be
don't
so
know.
interesting, wouldn't it?
I don't know if I would do anything different cuz like I had a good childhood,
Yeah, same. Same. I liked mine.
but well that's so funny.
I know, isn't it?
I love that. What a
Well
little
that's
memory moment.
yeah. The nostalgia, isn't it? It's kind of nice. I like going back and thinking of stuff like this.
Yeah. No, and I love watching home videos from my family. My
Mm-hmm.
parents a few years ago got all of them put onto DVDs so that we still have
Oh
them.
wow. She's on DVD coming to a red box near you. I think that's
She's
what's
on
nice about the
DVD.
phone now. Like I think that my sister-in-law does like an amazing job recording my nephews, but like it is really cool like cuz I don't think we have a lot of that just because videoing us at such a young age was really hard or
Yeah.
just like obnoxious, you know, or you no
Yeah.
one carries their camera all the time back then. But that's what like
Yeah.
I do appreciate that now and videos from back in the days they are really nice. Even just like pictures of you and your friends when you were younger, like it's a nice little moment.
Totally. And you know what? Like the digital thing is so great because like I mean, I don't even have my photo with Flavor Flav anymore because it was taken on like a camera. That's tragic. I know. And then I uploaded it to my Facebook or my MySpace. And now I don't know what my MySpace is. So photos
Mm.
with Flavor Flav and Mitchell Musso are gone with the wind.
Wow, sad to see.
Super
Is
sad.
MySpace still like live? Is that still something we could get on?
MySpace is still on and poppin'.
Did you have an Xanga? Do you know what that is? If
Yes,
I'm
and
even
I think
pronouncing it right?
yes, and I think I did, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's kind of
But
like
I
it was
think
like
I
a
had
MySpacey
one.
thing. I definitely
I
had a
think I had
MySpace.
one. I had a MySpace too.
Top friends and all.
Love. Honestly, I would love to have a top friends now, just so I could lay it out there. Bitch,
Yeah.
bitches would know where we stood.
Oh my gosh, maybe that's what we should make a like a post that says like if I had a MySpace now, my top 8 would be and then we put them out. Wouldn't that be funny?
Honestly, yeah. And to be quite honest, I think that now I'm gonna just like start ranking all my friends on Twitter. I'm I'm gonna say, you know what? Here's my MySpace top 8 for the week.
Love that.
May the odds be ever in your favor. I'm gonna do it.
um, please do.
Honestly, bitches deserve to know.
hmm Well, that's all I have for you, sis.
Well, I loved going down memory lane. I think it was fun. For those listening, please share with us what you used to do in your childhood. If anything aligns or if it sparked a memory for you, we would love to hear it. As always, follow our Instagram at allegedly Katie Dakota. Follow myself at kt.hen and Dakota at Dakota Etheridge for behind the scenes of our life. And with
Mm.
that, we'll see you next week. Peace and
Bye.
blessings.